At age 6, I went to a boarding school in India, which was run by Irish Catholic nuns. At that time, it was not Bangladesh, it was East Pakistan, and it was a new nation. So, the education system wasn't still fully developed. So some of the teachers where I went to kindergarten in Bangladesh, I and my 2 sisters, they were also nuns, missionary school. And they told my father that, they said, your 3 girls are very bright, and, you should send them to this boarding school, which is up in the hill station. It's a beautiful town in northern India, right on the foothills of the Himalayas. A lot of people will say, how could your parents have sent you to boarding school at that age? We considered it a real privilege. There are many different steps along the way, but I think the formation that I received there has probably a great deal to do with my sense of independence as a woman from that part of the world. Even when I came to the States, I went to a women's college in Ohio, developed quite a bit of the self-confidence I've brought with me ever since into my work environment. I did my first degree at Columbia, which was in community organization and planning. While I was at Columbia, I was staying at this place called International House. I had interactions and, met a lot of people from the UN. And I thought, I really want to go more into international development at a more policy level. So I went back to NYU immediately after I finished my master's degree at Columbia. And I got a master's in international development and finance. There were hardly any women in high-ranking positions. During the 80s, they tried to make that the decade, because it coincided with the international decade for women, and so a number of women were being recruited at that time. I said I started out as a junior professional officer in Indonesia, and I was a group of about, I think, 10 or 12 women who were recruited at that time. They were trying to get more women at the entry level who I guess would eventually be able to work themselves up. But there wasn't that much, sort of lateral recruitment or senior recruitment of women. They've been trying to do more of that recently. I just turned 60 in January, so, really I could, retire if I wanted to, but I think Timor-Leste is an exciting place to be because it's a tiny nation, newly independent, they've struggled for their independence. There's a great sense of wanting them to succeed as a nation, a country of 1.1 million people, and they can learn from experiences of many countries, and I think they're managing their petroleum fund very well. There's a possibility, of working together with the Timorese authorities and, shaping the policy for future citizens of Timor. I was, very fortunate that I got into the UN, and, I've stayed there 35 years, which is, a lifetime almost. A number of colleagues, we were recently at a regional meeting, and we were all having dinner, and kind of asked each other questions. We had to do it all over again. Would we have chosen the path that we'd chosen? And without batting an eyelid, all of us felt that we'd do it all over again.